What's going on, guys? This is Vincent, Professor Coop. I'm just going to run down my top teams for the Eastern Conference, starting with the lowest. These are just ranking. This is actually not playoff contention rankings or any sort. So I'm going to start with the teams that I think are on the cusp of making it into the playoffs. And these three teams are basically interchangeable between the 7, 8, and 9 seeds. So any one of these three can actually go into those seeds. Either can squeeze into the playoffs or have the potential to even slip out of the playoffs. So I'm just not going to go through them as quickly or as in-depth as the other top 8 teams that I have. But these three teams are basically the ones that I would say have potential to jump right into playoff contention or even go into championship contention. Just depends on how they go. And my three teams for the Eastern Conference are the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Detroit Pistons, and then the Toronto Raptors. So the first team I'm going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe that they have the right building blocks in their backcourt with Kyrie Irving and Dion Walters. That's a nice pickup. That's a very complimentary duo. Kyrie Irving being the floor manager, floor general of that team. Definitely still aggressive and definitely can get his points. And then Dion Walters complementing that with outside shooting. Definitely can handle as well, so they can play off each other, whether one is handling the ball or the other one is playing off the ball. Either one can do both. And then all they need is basically a nice front court complementary players. Anderson Varejao is still there, but we definitely need something a little more, or they need a little larger player to kind of put them over the top and get them actually in playoff contention. So that's a nice beginning backcourt duo. Definitely going to be looking to see if they make an impact, just the two of them, and see if they can make it, try to crack into that playoff contention. So the next team is the Detroit Pistons. So everyone knows that they're definitely still they're hanging around. They're not in full transition mode, and they're not blowing up the team and trying to get players to go directly right into playoff contention. But with their pick of Andrew Drummond, they're still going to be right in the thick of decent teams who are either looking to alleviate some of their older players and start fresh, or pick up some quality veterans and see if they can try to squeeze into the playoffs that way. I would say that they're in that transition mode, and Andrew Drummond is definitely a very good starter to complement their backcourt and at least get them going in the right direction without having to quote unquote blow up their roster and start basically fresh. So Detroit Pistons is going to be looking from the outside, probably just right around there in the 9 or 10 spot. They're not going to be losing all their games, but they're definitely not going to be winning, or they'll be contending in some of those games but not winning quality matchups. And the third team is going to be the Toronto Raptors. Toronto over the past couple years have been trying to put together a nice quality finesse type team with a lot of overseas talent and not necessarily doing it in a bad way. They picked up some nice free agents, one of which is definitely in the trade with Kyle Lowry from the Houston Rockets. So that was definitely a nice pickup. Definitely can start leading the team over to towards that rebuilding phase. Definitely has the nice leadership on the court now. So if they can build upon that and have their rookies kind of play up to standard and also get some size, I believe that they just need a little bit of size in the front court. They could definitely try to crack into that lower half of the playoff schedule. It's still going to be a toss-up whether they can really compete with a team that has size and has some depth in the backcourt, because Kyle Lowry is definitely a nice pickup. He definitely can score. They still don't have that bona fide offensive scorer on the team that can carry the team to a 20 points, 5 rebounds, or however, just carry the offensive load on that side. Kyle Lowry is a great leader, but he cannot do both the leading of the team and score at the same time. I mean, there's only a handful of players that can do that, and I don't see him being a Derrick Rose type player already, picking up everyone else on the team to that next level. So those are the three teams that I see looking out from the outside of the playoff schedule, trying to crack into that the last 3 spots of that playoff, the playoff seeds.